And then there's a punctuation. Do y'all see that in your Bible? There's a punctuation, and then it means like. I know what like means. Like is similar. It's a reflection. So I used to wash the dishes. I still do, but I used to wash the dishes, and after I washed the dishes, I would go and sit back down and watch television, and my father would come into the kitchen, and he said, "Son, why don't you wash the dishes?" I said, "No." We didn't have TiVo, but I couldn't pause us. So I was trying to hear up and talk. I said, "I already washed the dishes. See, all the dishes gone." He said, No, you didn't wash the dishes." I said, "I washed the dishes. You can't find a dish in there. Like, all the dishes been put up. I put all the dishes up. I didn't wash all the dishes. I didn't do what you said that I was supposed to do." He said, No, come in here. He cut on the lights. He said, "Come in here. You didn't wash the dishes." And I'm looking, and he said, "When you wash the dishes, and every time you wash the dishes," he says, "what's connected to the dishes?" I'm finna, some of y'all don't know this, so I'm gonna scoot this in. He said, "What's connected to the dishes, it's invisible, but it's connected." He says, "You didn't wipe off." Did y'all get the same? He said, "When you wash the dishes, you're supposed to wipe off the counters also." I said, "But I didn't read that in the book. Like, when you wash the dishes, you're just supposed to." He said, No. He said, "Look at that." He started pointing. He said, "Look at that. That's not," he said, "you're supposed to wipe off the counters." So I said, "Cool, get the little rag and the attitude, and wipe off the counter." Okay. And I put it down. He said, No, come back. You didn't finish washing the dishes. I said, "No, the dishes are put up, and I've done extra. I went above and beyond, and I wiped the counters." He said, "No, but what you don't understand was also connected to the dishes." Somebody got it. He said, you supposed to sweep the floor." I was like, I didn't, and I remember getting the broom and sweeping the floor and taking the dirt up. And you know what I started doing after that? I started going to my father and said, "Is that it?" Because I don't want to get back in a good spot and get back in my and have to get back up again. So before I go on about my business, I would go to don't miss the point, I would go to the Father. Because if I wash dishes, your counters and your floors are going to be nasty. That wasn't a part of that. That was another assignment. But when I realized that the assignment that I was given was not based upon my standard, then I had to confer with the master of the house and say, "Is this how you want it?" Stop loving each other based upon your standard, because we're hurting each other, because you think you're great. You think the way you're loving, they should just be giving you awards, and you're killing us. Because nobody is going to the Father and saying, "The way that I'm loving my brother and sister is this." So he says this, "A new commandment I'm giving to you, to love one another as I have loved." Some of you didn't even realize you're supposed to love me like Jesus loves you. Come on, give it to me. Come on, Now I know. When you know enough Bible, and even if you get into it with your brother and sister, and they know enough Bible, you say, "But Jesus, love me like Jesus. Talk to me like Jesus." English teachers, ain't that right? This is specific. He's letting us know in the church, this specific thing that I'm asking you to do is what makes everybody know that me and you belong together. By this shall all men know that you are my disciples. Our evangelism is based upon how we treat one another. And when we don't treat one another right, they don't know who we are. We say church on the sign, but there's a contradiction. There are some people who will go to work and dog church members. And then on Friends and Family Day, you go back to the same people that you vent to about your brothers and sisters and say, we would love to have you this. I ain't finna go over there in that cesspool. You try to encourage people, say, but they see how you treat. They say when a young lady is looking for a man, they say, look at how he treats his what? Y'all be reading the same newspaper? He said, look at how he treats his mama. Because how he treats his mama is what? Do you know people who are looking for Jesus? They look at how we treat each other to determine if whether or not they can get to Jesus here. So if you saw somebody kick their mama and put their mama in the chair and shove oatmeal, hush mama, hush. Pour water on her, sprinkle water, and that's her bath, and then roll her in the room, and then lock the room up and say, baby, I'm ready to go. You ready to go on our date tonight? You say what? Nah. I don't want to be a part of that. Erotic love, or eros, is a romantic type of love. It's possible to have a romantic type of love and be passionate about somebody that you're not friends with. It's possible to be attractive and connected to a person erotically and y'all not family. It's possible to have a Storge family type of love. We family, but we not friends. One of the things that my mama would always tell me, because we family, she would tell me and remind me, I'm not your friend. Y'all understand? We getting it, right? I would say, Mama, she said, whoa, I ain't your friend. I'm your mama, and I ain't your friend. And then she would go a little further and hurt my feelings and say, and I ain't trying to be. She would say, I'm not your little friend. She would always say, I'm not your little friend down the street. Don't talk to me like your friend. Don't interact with me like your friend. I'm your mother. Right? So it's possible to have a family type of love, but none of us are friends with one another. None of us are friends. We're not friends. We're not going to hang out. We're not going to call each other. But we family, which means we'll be there for one another. But we ain't friends. We ain't going to be there like that. And then there's erotic love, romantic love. When somebody says, I fell out of love, what they're talking about is eros. They're talking about romantic love. Now, eros is extremely strong, but it's like a firecracker. Y'all ever going to the 4th of July? And then 4th of July, everybody pull up in the park or on the cliff or whatever, and the fireworks start, and everybody get out the car. You see that? Everybody. I mean, vision in your mind. I know you don't see it, but just get in your mind. They get out the car. They say what? Oh, wow. And sometimes the kids are pointing. They say, ooh, ah, yeah. And it lasts about like 2.5 minutes. Ah. And they get back in the car and what? Everybody drive off. It was amazing. It lit up the sky. People stopped and pulled on the side of the road and said, oh my goodness, That was a beautiful, and sometimes it'll go really, really high. And it'll just bust. Don't it feel good? Ah. And after about 10 minutes, boop, 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 boop. And that's how some relationships are. Pa, 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 boop, 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 boop. And somebody says, what happened? I don't feel it anymore. Erotic love is how you feel. It's how you feel. And you can feel real strong. And then all of a sudden, the weather change. 2 weeks before Valentine's. Hey, listen, I just don't think this is working out, and I just feel like, I feel lost, and I need to go find myself and just, yeah, it ain't you. It is. Yeah, it ain't you. You know what? That's erotic love. God did not build his church on emotion. Because if he did, he'd have got rid of us a long time ago. And if our Christian walk is based upon emotion, we wouldn't even be here half the time. You're going to have to get out of your feelings and say, he loved me first. So I never cleaned that kitchen because that's what I thought needed to be done. I cleaned the kitchen, not because I felt like doing it either. I cleaned the kitchen because I loved my Father and I wanted to please my Father. So I cleaned the kitchen in that way because I knew it would make him happy. And when it made him happy, then the benefit of me cleaning the kitchen that way is that I would have free access to the refrigerator. I could have free access to all the amenities that were in the house. I could go in and out of the pantry with no restriction. I could have as much beans and cornbread as my heart desired because I did what he asked me to do his way. Some of you are missing your blessings because you love in your way. You're loving based upon the dysfunction you were born in. You're loving based upon the things that were wrong in your environment and in your life. You know what? It's time to overhaul and put your love under construction. We gotta start learning to love.